This is the first time finance ministers from the G7 group of major economies have met in person in more than 2 years. And really 3 issues front and centre in the discussions. Firstly, there's COVID-19. These nations make up around 50% of global economic output, so their recoveries will matter to the rest of the world. Climate change is another issue that's becoming a more important consideration for the group. And then thirdly, taxing big business is high on the agenda too. In particular, how nations can raise more money fairly from large multinational companies. At the moment, the rules often differ by country, which allows some global firms to base themselves in jurisdictions with lower taxes, something the UK's representative who's chairing the meeting said needed to change.
It is increasingly clear that in a complex, global, digital economy, we cannot continue to rely on a tax system that was largely designed in the 1920s. And I would just say this, the world has noticed, and I believe they have high expectations for what we all can agree over the coming days.
The US has recently suggested a global minimum rate for corporation tax of 15%. That marks a major change from the previous Trump administration, who opposed such broad measures, saying they'd hurt American companies in particular. And any plans out of London are likely to face strong opposition. Firstly, from the companies involved, especially the global tech giants like Facebook, Apple, Google and Amazon. By nature, the firms are digital and their operations much less constrained by borders. And there's resistance from some governments too, who benefit from being low tax havens. Ireland, for example, has a rate of 12.5% for corporation tax, so stands to lose out if global rules are enforced. And that's perhaps the biggest challenge to all of this. The G7 may represent a lot of the world's economic clout, but it will require far broader support if these plans are really going to work.